All right. Let's see here. We're going to give it about 2 or 3 minutes to get everyone in the room. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Charley. I am the president of Alpine Brokerage Group. Welcome to our webinar series today, talking about how we can generate leads and streamline your insurance business. I'm so excited to be here with my friends, Steve Zimmerman and Troy Haman. Did I get that right?
We'll go with it. Works for me.
Okay. How do you pronounce it actually, Troy?
Haman.
Hammond. Okay. You say potato, I say potato. We've
You
only
made him
worked
sound
together
way
for
more
like 10 years.
sophisticated. Yeah.
I should know how to pronounce your last name. Troy Haman. So welcome everyone. I think this is a great opportunity. You know, I get asked a lot about not only North American, but also life insurance, retirement planning, and how that fits in. And no one has a better platform, in my opinion, than North American. They have some of the best in class products out there, and they also have an unbelievable streamlined uh, uh, back end of their business. And they have Troy and Steve that are in our corner. Our relationship is stronger than ever, and they are a gold partner for Alpine Brokerage Group. So thank you both for that very much. But when we have these conversations, a lot of people ask me, Dan, this is a great concept, but how do I effectively communicate that to to a client in a way that they can understand? And what we all know, everyone, is that people are visual learners. Most people are. I think the statistic is about 70% that people are visual learners. And so what we're going to talk about today before Steve takes over with his presentation is what tool we have available uh, in order to tell this story to your clients in a way that they can visually understand, and also they can interact with on the fly, so that they don't get what I say paralysis by analysis when you show them the illustration. So again, welcome to Steve and Troy here on our webinar today. Again, as I said, visual aids can help you improve learning up to 400%. So what we've developed here at Alpine Brokerage Group is cutting edge technology that transforms your traditional client experience and demonstrates the power of visual learning through personal data and storytelling. 4 really areas that it impacts, right? It simplifies the concept down into a way that they can understand your client. It accelerates the sales process, so you're not meeting 2 and 3 times explaining the concept so that they understand it. The proposals are interactive, meaning they can change if the client says, hey, maybe I want to start taking income at age 70 or 65. You can use that on the fly. And again, it's another way to differentiate yourself. You know, at Alpine, we say we're building a community of people helping people. This is a way that we can help you, the advisor, and the client differentiate yourselves in how to understand these concepts and deliver them in a way that's easy and straight to the point. So again, turning these complicated illustrations. Have you ever been out on a client appointment? And I like to call this premature presentation. You get ready, you get all your illustrations ready, your briefcase is overflowing, you go out to the table, you sit down, you start pulling out illustrations. And the next thing you know, the client is so focused on those numbers that they're missing what this actual solution can do for them. So what this process does is it backs up the vision of the client to the point where they can understand the concept and how it works. So I'm super excited about that. Like I said, does your conference table look like this before a meeting? I know many advisors out there that I work with, it does. And this is a tool that can really help you. And it plays perfectly into North American story, and that's why I'm so excited about it. So cut down the prep time, present solutions faster, and accelerate the sales. The proposal is interactive. It differentiates you from your competition. And by the way, may I say, it's really at no cost when you work with Alpine Brokerage Group. We develop these presentation tools for you as part of the process that Josh Lipson and his team will put together. So start taking your illustrations from this to this. a much more visual story for your clients. So I encourage you, if you like what you see and you hear today, please contact your team that you work with here at Alpine Brokerage Group, and they will start to get this implemented for you in showing these North American sales. So very short. Again, I want to welcome Steve. We don't want to take up too much of your time because I believe the value that North American provides is beyond what anything that we can show you here at Alpine. We're just here to supplement it and give it to you in a way that we believe that the clients can digest that information and then lead to the next step, which is taking an application, hopefully online, by the way, and also then getting an offer quickly. I know Steve's going to talk about this potentially, but through their electronic underwriting process, their digital underwriting process, and turn around and get this solution back to your clients in, let's say, 30 to 45 days. That's our goal. So again, Troy and Steve are here. Steve is going to talk about their product portfolio, really two concepts, right, Steve? We're going to talk about the life insurance as retirement planning and how the builder fits in. You're going to give a couple sales ideas, and then you have a protection story as well. And by the way, just a little shout out on the protection side. If you're more of someone that offers protection type business to your clients, then we have a story that fits that also, that fits the product that Steve is going to explain. So either way, depending on what you want or what you're looking for, we have a visual aid to assist you to do that. So again, Steve, welcome to the webinar. I am going to stop sharing and allow you to take over, and really appreciate you and the partnership and the information you're going to share.
Fantastic, Dan. Hey, thank you so much. And hello, everybody. I'm Steve Zimmerman. I'm the regional VP. My handsome wingman with me is Troy Haman. We are part of the group that manages life distribution and relationships in the field for North American's Life Company. It is an honor and a privilege to be here, Dan, to be here with the Alpine team. Just as a little bit of context, we work with some of the and only the biggest and best agency brokerage distributors in the country. We have a very long relationship with Alpine. This is one of our most valued relationships. It is an honor and privilege to be here today. So for those of you that are participating, you made a great choice. Let me just reinforce that. And what we're going to do today is we're going to spend a few minutes and we're going to walk you through the North American platform. But gosh, hey, Troy, that sounds kind of boring, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is, yes, we're going to show you what's in the toolkit, but we're going to do it in the context of how you use it. Where are the sales coming from? How can Team Alpine help you grow your business? And how can we play our role in that process as well? So, hey, Troy, I'm going to just let you say hi real quick and introduce yourself. And Dan, I would encourage you, if you have any comments along the way, you know, the platform is yours more than ours. I would encourage you to jump in. But otherwise, we're going to just hit the gas and we're going to figure out how to help everybody make some money. So, Troy, let me toss to you.
Yeah, I thank you guys, and thanks, Dan, for having us. It's a pleasure and an honor. Good way for to get the middle of the week going, hump day, right? A couple notes I took down. I love Dan's intro. I mean, the thing with this industry is you know, even us, every company has 30 plus pages now to an IUL. So his screen share where you've got all those illustrations, that's confusing. So if you haven't taken advantage of Dan's practice over there and what I call visual aid, like Dan called, but I also call it user friendly. So you take that 30-some page illustration, and at his practice, and Josh and Timothy and the team will take those numbers and put it into a user-friendly spreadsheet where it basically it helps make sense for the client rather than, like Dan said, just looking at numbers. So I would really challenge Josh, Dan, and the team to educate you on that and get on board with that visual aid as well. That really brings that illustration home and really simplifies it for the client. So thanks, Zim.
Sure thing. Hey, and gang, as we jump into this, as we're going through these, we're going to tell you client profiles. We're going to share what to look for in your book and your prospects. So please write down clients and prospects' names. Our hope is you leave this call with some certain ideas that make sense to you and a list of people to pick up the phone, give them a call. And then if we did that, we can help you set up what we love to call the I got a guy conversation. You can call Josh Lipson. You can call Dan. You can call us. Hey, I've got a client. I've got a woman. This is what they look like. Remind me about that stuff you told us. And then the last thing I'll just say, and then we'll get going, is Troy, I've been doing this for a while. The same thing as Team Alpine. This is the best time we've seen in decades to sell life insurance. It's the perfect storm of client needs, economic climate, and the unique features and benefits of life insurance solutions. So, hat tip to the group. So, hey, Troy, let's get after it. So, a quick little intro. What are we going to do for a few minutes here? North American, some of you may know us, we may be new to some of you. If you want to break down why should you even look at North American, I would say it's simple. 4 P's: private ownership, products, process, and people. So, just a quick comment on ownership. North American is a privately owned company. We're an ESOP company, employee stock ownership. So, what that means is Troy and I and the rest of the team here at North American, we're actually owners of the company. That does 2 things for you. Every one of us is intensely committed to helping you, laser focus on your clients and you. The other thing is, you're not going to see vulnerability on the North American side that you may actually see with some other companies. Let's take a look at this. What's going on right now? Many stock companies or many insurance companies are stock companies. They're owned by the shareholders, Wall Street. What goes on these days? It can be a bit of a tug of war of priorities. Many companies every 90 days, the stock companies have to go to Wall Street and they have to declare earnings. And is it a good thing, bad thing? They could be doing things counter to your interests to make sure that the share values go up by making Wall Street happy. The other thing is there's an increasing number of occurrences these days where you call it venture capital, call it private equity. We see almost a hostile takeover of a minority portion of a company stock by these venture capital firms, and they're in there for just mercenary profit development. And we're seeing that being really detrimental to some carriers that have had that happen. So, bottom line here, you're not going to see that with North American. Rock solid. Most importantly, we'll be here tomorrow to back up the promises we make today. So, Troy, can I toss to you? Let's take the next piece. We talked about private ownership. Let's talk for a minute about products. Could I toss to you and could you maybe make a couple comments, high level on the products, and we're going to walk through sales ideas in the next couple slides too.
Yeah, my pleasure, my man. The first one is kind of, and Dan mentioned it too, the protection builder too. As most of you know, we repriced the product for the better, big time here in the last couple months. So that's our GIUL, guaranteed IUL. Works kind of like our GUL did that we sunsetted. So they were always the same price. So that's the reason we're kind of putting all of our hats in the protection builder. Where we're competitive and what the product does. This is the product for, hey, I need $500,000 to 90. I need, $1 million to 105. Whatever the case is, this is the guaranteed death benefit product. So we can guarantee the death benefit anywhere still from age 81 all the way to 120. So are we getting a lot of cases to 120? Not a lot. A lot of the 100 to 105, and that's really our sweet spot. But we still have those requests for the 120, and we're seeing a lot of companies more and more that are not going out to 120. So one thing we also have, and I know Dano and Josh love it, is we have the return of premium. So that also kicks in year 15, 20, and 25. So think of that as an exit strategy. So the client can get all their premium back if they desire. And by the way, on this product is not only is it ultra competitive for guaranteeing that death benefit at a minimum premium, but we also are building up some cash value on the side. So in a lot of the times we can design this product as a non-MEC, which you're probably thinking, well, what's that make a difference, guys, if it's a MEC or a non-MEC on the death benefit? That's always tax-free. Well, if we can design this as a non-MEC, if they decide to take some cash value from it, you've got your tax advantages like the second product, the Builder Plus 4. And the last thing I'll say on number one is think about the concepts where we're getting a lot of sales. At least for Zim and I right now, we're getting a lot of large 1035s. We just doubled our premium limit capacity in the last 10 days. So we are open for business. We are aggressive on large cases at North American. 10 years ago, I couldn't have said that. Now we are very aggressive. So this product is ultra competitive on those single pays. So if you're taking a rescue, let's say you're rescuing a policy, if you will, that's underperforming from years ago, move it here. A lot of the times we can buy more death benefit at cheaper premium or buy more death benefit for longer duration. So single pays and then also short pays like your 5 and 10 pays, ultra competitive. The second product is our accumulation
Troy, before
product.
we move forward, though, I think I don't know whether I maybe have missed it or not. Your major competitor in that protection builder space really just announced that they're no longer offering any type of life insurance products going forward. So I'll say it. You don't have to, but if you were looking at American National or you had one of their products, it was very, very close to the protection builder in how it was structured. So if you were writing that or you were looking at that, North American is now pretty much the only game in town when it comes to that indexed product that also has the return of premium and a dial-in guarantee, low cost. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yep. Hey, Dano, thank you. Hey, the dots all fit together when you connect them because American National was taken over by a large venture capital firm. And a couple of years ago, they stopped writing term insurance, and now recently they're stopping writing life insurance altogether. So you can see what happens when external influences come in with their own selfish agenda. So the only thing I would add, Troy, and well said there, is we're going to use life insurance for basically, as Dan said, two things. Where you're going to use it for protection and death benefit or accumulation and cash value. The protection builder too is that death benefit tool. But the cool thing we're seeing these days is living benefits. It's the way you can get money out of your policy while you're alive, the policy holder. So there's an accelerated death benefit for health issues. There's cash value available. There's return of premium available. So this is almost like a Swiss Army knife of things that can happen to benefit the client, not just setting up the beneficiary. So we'll give you a couple ideas in a minute or two on where we're using that, where it might make sense for you. So hey, Troy, let's keep going.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That's a new life insurance, right? Asking that question, especially in the policy review, is, hey, by the way, do you have life insurance? Number one, yes or no. If they answer yes, don't move on. Ask one last question. Oh, by the way, is it the new kind or the old life insurance? And they'll be like, what the heck are you talking about? And that's exactly what Zim just mentioned: living benefits, chronic, critical, terminal. A lot of the old policies, and when I say old, 4 or 5 years ago, did not have the living benefits. A lot of them didn't even have the critical. And we look at our advancements on these living benefits, guys. I think you'd agree, a lot of, when I talk to our claims team once a month on, hey, what are we claiming out? What are you guys seeing? A lot of it's critical. So it's not chronic yet, but it's a lot of critical, your cancer, your heart attack. So all the living benefits are on all three of these products, or four of the products we'll talk about. As I move on, I'll quickly go number two, the Builder Plus 4. This is our kind of, not the opposite, but a little different design than the first one, right? The second one is more cash value. So how do we grow internally cash value robustly? As any company would say, it's really minimizing that death benefit, right? So this second product, the Builder Plus 4, is for your accumulation, your accum. So a lot of the times we'll minimum death benefit and then we'll max income, max cash. So that product, again, we repriced last fall. You're going to see that top 1, 2, or 3 on any cell. And I would challenge you, Dan had mentioned it too, the spreadsheeting world. I make a lot of outbound calls to top advisors and, hey, thanks for the business. How did we get this case? How did this work out? Well, you guys look number one on income. Well, by the way, did you know we had the protected death benefit? It's an overloan feature on steroids. No, I didn't know that. Did you know this? So there's a lot of value add on top of that income number, right? So that's where I think Steve and Dan had talked about the company, the ESOP own, a lot of our benefits behind the scenes. So that product, you're going to see very competitive. Zim, Dan, anything to add on there before I go into the term real quick?
Yeah, let's keep going because we'll wrap up the products and I'll throw a couple things in. We'll get into some sales ideas.
So I'll finish with term, Zim, and then I'll hand it over to you for the Smart Builder. And I'll be real quick on the term. Term's term, right? It's a commoditized product. It's spreadsheeted. We're going to be very competitive. We won't be your Banner, Symetra, so I want to be transparent. But for a couple extra bucks more, what are you going to get? Number one, you're getting the living benefits, the full suite, chronic, critical, terminal. In fact, on our term life insurance, the client could advance up to 90% for a critical illness. It's unheard of. So think about the living benefits on our term. And then also we have conversion privileges where we allow conversion to any of our products. So we don't just have one overpriced inferior product that we really don't want you to convert to. We want conversions. So we allow it to any product. And by the way, we pay commission on it too. Full comp on conversions. So I don't think I probably did miss something there, Zim, before I kick it over to you on the Smart Builder to clean that up, my man.
No, hey, well said. So, you can see here, I'm just gonna make a couple comments and then let's jump into the sales ideas and, certain clients to look for. So as Troy mentioned, Builder Plus, that's the product we're going to use for accumulation and future income. So we have, as Dan mentioned, really great illustrative tools. It's all about telling the story. It's all about taking something that's fairly complex and creating a simple message for your client. The term and living benefits. If you sell term insurance, we've got a very unique proposition where the client can actually get something out of the policy if they get sick along the way. And then this last product, the Smart Builder 2, we all know and love what life and annuity products can do, the tax advantages, the tax deferred growth, the leverage. But one of the key drawbacks is liquidity. So if you put money into a life or an annuity contract, you see that it takes you a little while before you've got a penalty-free structure to get your money back out. We have a unique proposition here with a Smart Builder where there's no premium loads and you can set it up where there's no surrender charges to get out. So it's a product where we do a lot of repositioning of clients' liquid assets because they like the benefits, but they want to keep it liquid. So if you got anything like that, just let us know. So why don't we jump into, where do we put these things to work? I mean, the products are nice, but we don't want to make you smart today. We want to make you money. We want to get you more clients and prospects. So let's just spend a couple of minutes on those products we talked about. Let's put them into motion. So now let's get specific on who are you looking at? Who are the people you see at the Rotary meeting? Who are your clients and prospects? Let's start with business owners. We've done a lot this winter and into the spring, working with Alpine, a lot of advisor facing, sales training. Business owners is a place we do a lot with. So let me just give you that context here, and then we can make a comment about, where the products fit in. But business owners, there's going to be two primary silos you're going to see with business owner planning. The first one is going to be compensation strategies for your owners and your highly compensated, kind of your VIPs. We can do things with life insurance products that give you unique benefits that you can't find with other products, and we can segregate and discriminate highly in favor of the key VIPs. So there's things we can do there. I mean, we just unpacked a lot. So if you have business owners and you want to explore more there, come to us. Go to Josh Lips and Team Alpine. The other thing you can do, the other silo for business owner planning is business continuation, buy-sell planning. If Troy and I are partners in a business, what happens if I die? Does he get the business? Does my wife get the business? Buy-sell planning, well, on its own may look a little complex. We can super simplify this for you. We can turn this into a business prospecting turbocharge opportunity. So if you have business owners and you want to figure out, hey, can this work for me? We would love to help you with that. We use term insurance here a lot of times because the business owner says, hey, look, let's just start funding it with term. But as Troy mentioned, conversion to the whole portfolio, it lines up really well. So, hey, guys, any comments on business owners? Man, that was a lot to unpack in a short time, but anything to add?
I don't know whether I told you guys, but we recently sent over one of the business valuations. That's actually a real client that I don't know whether Josh mentioned that I'm working on that was brought to us from an advisor. That's a gentleman that lives here in Florida. He's 42. He has a wellness practice that he inherited from his father. And he has about a $10 million net worth. The business, including property, is probably about $4 to $5 million, and it does $3 million, between $3 and $5 million of top end revenue. And we're currently doing his estate planning. So I know you have that great business valuations. We hold that pretty close to our vest. Those of you that are on the call, there are some things you have to do in order to be part of that program. But I'm happy to say that we have started interaction with Marshall and Stevens, getting the questionnaires out to the client, and kind of seeing where that's going to progress. And to your point, Steve, I believe that that's going to end up being what I like to call the combo meal. I like to keep it simple. We're going to do some term, but we're also going to do that protection IUL builder, protection builder IUL 2 with the return of premium, so that he has some flexibility down the road that when he exits out of the business, he may be able to recapture those premiums that he paid into that contract as well. So a real live case study that we have going on right now with North American, and you guys have been great. So thank you for that.
Hey, you're welcome. Hey, thanks, Dan. And since the creation of this slide, we've actually introduced another service. We have a buy-sell review service. So if you're working with auditing clients' documents, auditing their buy-sell that might already be on the books, we have a team of attorneys, and they can look at that for you, and they'll give you a review. So if business owners are something in your world and you want to do more of it or leverage those relationships, let us know. We would love to entertain that. I've got a person conversation. So let's take a look now, Troy. Let's look on the protection side. We were talking about Protection Builder 2, death benefit product, living benefits. Let's just take a minute or two and just talk about what clients are out there in front of you, what prospects, how can we put these things to use? So the first one we love to call Live Better, Leave More. What does that mean? This is for your clients that are probably 60 plus, retired. They've got a multitude of needs. And, another way that I would describe this, and this might be a little bit simpler, is the spend all your money and leave life insurance to your kids sales idea. So what we're doing here is we're saying, let's take your client and let's just assume, like, hey, Dan, let's just say, we've got one of your clients. Let's say it's a $5 million net worth client. And these days, that's not so hard to get to. Say they've got a house, they've got some qualified money, they've got some stock from the company, they have some investments, probably not too hard to get to 4 to 5 million of total all-in net worth. What I would say is, hey, let's diversify 1% of those assets. Let's de-risk those assets. Let's take some of the market exposure. Let's change the tax characteristics. We're going to take a little bit of money each year and put it into a life insurance policy. That life insurance policy immediately on day one is going to provide the death benefit, which will be a bucket for liquidity for healthcare, long-term care. It'll also be a place where we've got some fallback safety net income as far as policy cash value and return of premium. So if you've got retired clients, we can have a Swiss Army knife of benefits to solve all those issues and concerns they have and also leave a hell of a legacy. So that's the one thing. And I'll just hit these other two real quick and then I'll pause. I'm sure you guys might have some comments. Hey, leverage gifting. We've been talking for quite a while about, the sunset in 2025 this year, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? But right now, the annual exclusion gift has been adjusted to $19,000 per year. Your clients that have significant assets often will like to do some gifting now. I mean, if the kids are going to inherit some money later, why not give them something now that I can see them enjoy it? So we're doing gifting into that protection product because of the death benefit and the flexibility that lets the clients pull it back if they change their mind. And then we talked a little bit already about selling term on value. My recommendation there is in a lot of cases, go into your term sale, have that dirt cheap, no value add product, and also have ours on the table. It's such an incremental, small additional difference that a lot of clients pick it just because they like the extra stuff they get with it. So, hey guys, let me pause. I just threw a lot out there on the table, but what do you want to add or what did I miss?
I'll just add real quick from a reiteration standpoint. This is a sale, like Zimmy, you said, your target market, 55, 60 years old plus. Those are usually affluent people. So keeping in mind your clientele. These aren't 35, 40-year-olds that are still working. They've got a mortgage to pay. They got daycare. They're funding their 529s for college, et cetera. They probably have disposable income. So this gets to that play of those short pays. Okay, so if you have a 65-year-old client, you need that coverage to 100 rather than paying all the way to 100. Yes, it's cheaper right now, but look at those short pays. I bet you money when Dan and Josh get that Marshall and Stevens back and we start designing that product, we're probably looking at a short pay. It's a little bit more today, but if you take 5 years premium compared to 30 years premium, it's much more economical, and that's going to be our sweet spot. So again, think of short pays, and then return of premium. We mentioned a couple times. What's the one problem with return of premium with any companies? Once you take that premium, the policy's done, right? But what if you still need some coverage? Think about if you've got a client that needs $5 million in coverage on the protection builder, write 2 policies, write 2 for 2.5. That way you have one liquid contract if you want to take advantage of that ROP, and then that other one for 2.5 that's still in force. Or write 5 $1 million policies. So we can get really, really creative with this product, especially when we talk that ROP. So it's not all or nothing on one policy. So those are my notes, Zim. I'll kick it back to you, or if Dano has anything.
Okay, great. Hey, we don't have time to really go into substandard or tough underwriting, but I have a comment there. Tough underwriting. There's nobody better than Alpine and Dan Charley that being able to look at a client, field underwriting, and help you get cases to the right place. I mean, we've come a long way where we're actually a stronger underwriting shop than we've ever been before. But the nice thing is with Alpine, they've got all the different carriers at your fingertips, and they're really good. This is a major differentiator for why, I maintain you're in one of the best places in the country. So let's keep going. And I want to keep an eye on the time because we don't want to go too long. I know you guys got stuff to go do, and we really appreciate your sharing your most precious asset, your time with us. So accumulation sales. This is real simple, but let's go back and just say we were talking builder plus 4. This is the asset accumulation and supplemental retirement planning sales idea. So we're seeing it's that 40 to 60 pre-retirement client. It could be a professional, it could be a business owner. These are people that are saying, hey, I got to save more money. I'm not so sure I've accumulated enough. Life insurance, and this, just a snippet for you here. We could have a half-hour conversation on just this. Life insurance is the only product, the only arrow in your quiver that will give you the total combination of tax-deferred growth, tax-free income, tax-free transfer at death. When you pair that with some other things, the downside protection, a power question to ask your client is, if I had a strategy where you could participate when the markets go up, but never lose money when the markets go down, would you be interested? So there's a number of things like this we'll share with you if we have that one-on-one chat, but there's things we could do here. The product is very strong. It's very competitive in the marketplace. Hey, and then sales tools. We've got a note there, Insmark. Insmark is another one of those tools that we have. It's, and Dan, great stuff in the beginning. It's how to tell the story. Insmark is a fairly expensive product. We make it available to you free of charge because of your relationship with Alpine. This is a tool we can do parallel cash flow modeling. Client might say, hey, should I buy life insurance? Or, my F Stanley says I should just put it in the brokerage account. We can show you and do modeling where if you put money into life insurance, we can show you what would happen if you put it into the market or hypothetical other places. And we can demonstrate and prove to you that life insurance is superior. So it's a great tool. And I would encourage you, either if you have a client, we could show it to you live, or if you want to see a sample, we could do that too. So, and I think we've already talked about the term. I don't think we have to go back there, but let me pause. Any other comments here? This is just such a robust area for sales. It just, if this piques your interest, let's come back one-on-one and talk about clients specifically. So anything else, guys?
Well done.
All right. So we had our first 2 of our 4 P's, Troy. We had private ownership. We got products. Now let's talk about process. Now, process is probably not the thing that gets you up in the morning going, holy smokes, man, I'm going to go sell some life insurance. That process has me excited. So we're going to make this kind of brief. We've simplified the process. I mean, years ago, we started selling life insurance. If you were to call Dan 20 years ago, he'd send you something that looks like the New York City phone book. And you're like, dude, I can't fill all that out. We've come a long way. We have a digital process from end to end. It's an electronic input. It's a digital process. You don't have to even do one piece of paper if you don't want to. That is paired with an accelerated underwriting platform, simplified stuff. So when you do any kind of a case coming in, we're going to do a big data. I love saying big data. It makes me sound smarter than I am, Troy. LexisNexis, a data sweep, and we're going to look at the client's score based on all kinds of data, financial, medical, criminal, everything. Hopefully they don't have a lot of criminal out there. And 60% of the time, these clients are able to skip the exam and fluids. They're done. They're out the door with an issued policy within a few days. If the client is in that 4 out of 10 group that doesn't, they just go through the traditional process. Somebody comes out, typically blood and urine, but they can still get the best class. And then the only thing I would say here is we have a fabulous relationship with Alpine Brokerage. We've added to staff on our side, so we're constantly trying to do more to make the process either less painful or just kind of a non-event. It's become less friction than it's ever been before. And then, with underwriting issues, we chatted about that a second ago. We're actually pretty darn good. And I love the partnership we have with Alpine there. So Troy, anything to add?
Yeah, and the only thing I would add is, if the client does qualify for that right away, 18 to 50 up to 2 million, 51 to 60 up to 3 million, it can go through that right away. And that's an online part two. So you as an advisor, you don't have to fill out the part two. It's not a telephone interview even anymore. We still have that available, but people don't want to spend 20 minutes on the phone with somebody they don't know telling them the medications, their height and weight. Okay. So we can do it online, and that's our main go-to. And even if you do a paper app, which we don't see a lot anymore, that still qualifies for right away. So once you hit that submit button from an e-app, within a couple minutes, that client's going to get that online part two, so him or her can fill that out at their convenience. And then a lot of the times within a day or two, we can issue that. So, and one thing too to mention, Zimmy, is if they do get, let's say, kicked out of the right away, if something came up, we're like, we got to order an APS, or we do have to draw blood on this client, they can still get the best ratings. So just because we can't do the accelerated underwriting, once we get our information we need, they can still get the best rating. So don't be alarmed if they don't qualify for it. So.
Hey, thanks, Troy. Hey, the other thing, just a little bit of inside baseball for the group. We don't get involved in a lot of cases. A lot of the stuff that comes through is pretty clean, especially with Team Alpine. But we might get the call once in a while, and I made a call from Josh Lipson and say, hey, I've got a client that he's a gym rat. The he's built. He's 3 or 4 pounds over your max weight for the best class. But the guy, man, he's built, he's thin. We sometimes get those conversations where we'll go to the underwriter and intervene on your behalf. We don't bat 1,000, but we do pretty well there. So you just know that Alpine brings a lot of presence in the home office because of the long relationship. So, and then the last thing, our last P. So we got the private ownership, products, process, and people. The best part for last, Troy, I think this is my favorite part. Okay, people. Think about us. Think about Troy and Steve. We're the force multiplier. Think about us as the part of the team, part of Alpine Brokerage, or maybe part of your staff that you don't have to pay. I mean, we're an experienced consultant that you don't have to compensate, because we'll be taken care of in different ways. So how do we get involved? One-on-one training. So if any of you like certain things, you saw an idea you might leave the call and say, okay, a week later, I liked it, but I don't remember what they said. We're available as part of Team Alpine to say, I've got a client, here's their profile. We can help you with the sales ideas, what to do, case design, things like that. We can also help with marketing campaigns. If you have a certain type of client, you have a certain type of profile, you want to go deeper into your book, maybe you want to prospect and get some more business owner clients or something else, we can help you with custom marketing campaigns. We have a ton of client-approved marketing materials. We can help you with ideas on email campaigns, one-on-one outreach. There's things we can do with flyers and videos to start the client conversation. So if you want to leverage some of those things, absolutely do it. There's lots of people that might think about buying leads. If you got a book, you don't have to buy leads. We'll go prospect in your book. We'll show you how. And then just lastly, case design and concierge. We're here on the front end. We're here throughout the process. It may be kind of a transparent thing to you, the advisor. We work every day with Team Alpine, but just if you guys ever need us, we're here. But a lot of stuff just kind of runs through Dan's office. So that's basically it. There's our contact info. We'll make sure you have it. And I'm going to stop sharing. And I would just like to say thank you, everybody. This is awesome. Dan, Team Alpine, it's one of our favorite things to do is working with you guys.
Yeah, really appreciate the presentation, Steve, and the points there, the 4 Ps. I think those are very, I'll use another P word, poignant right now, because obviously the people, the relationship that we have, the sales process that we're bringing, the products that are there, the business owner valuations, all of that is value add that North American brings, and with their relationship that they have with our organization, and then ultimately to you, the advisor. So just want to thank you and Troy for your partnership over the years, and looking forward to making 2025 a great year with you. I know there's been a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace recently, but we see people moving to these types of products more and more. I think the statistics show that in the first quarter, life insurance sales were up. I think you'll see that. We are seeing a lot of business owners and individuals looking for these types of solutions. So again, thank you for your time. For those of you on the call, we do appreciate that. For those of you that are going to watch this on the recording, please feel free to reach out to us and touch base not only on that sales presentation software that we have that makes all of this come to life, but also if you want to know more about the North American story and what they can do for you inside of your practice. So with that, I will say thank you to all of you. Appreciate you being on. Steve, Troy, you have a wonderful rest of your day. And for all of you, we'll see you on our next webinar that we host at Alpine Brokerage Group. Have a great day, everyone.